go right to it.
Low.
I'm calling him the greatest fullback that ever has donned the pads.
I call him Hall of Fame.
Lorenzo Neal. What's up, Lorenzo? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing today, man?
A lot of unhappy 49er fans, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think there is. It's a lot of unhappy people. And, first thing before we can dive into the details, guys, I mean, my thoughts and prayers, I think you guys feel the same sentiment as with Trey Lance. You're a young man playing a kid's game, getting a king's ransom, and all these time you've been waiting for this moment. And here it is, an injury. His parents, he comes from good family. You look at the town, how they all back him in that small town he's from. And he's, besides trying to become a great football player, he's a good kid, and he's a good young man. And I know what it's like, Guru, my rookie year, breaking my ankle, second game of the season, starting, and it's tough, man. Your life just seems like, because you're so young, you just don't understand. You're like, man, it's over. I was on exciting, leading the league in rushing the first game, and just really hit the league by storm. This little kid out of Fresno, and no one said, look, Jim Moore thought about cutting me, saying he was a horrible practice player, but you put him in the game, they're like, he's kid's a gamer, and they were calling me the bowling ball, and all these different things, and you're feeling good about yourself, and boom, next week against Atlanta, just after running a 74-yard touchdown from scrimmage, the next quarter, boom, have a little play, running a little sweet play. Scott Case grabs me on the shoulder. I try to rip through it. He falls on my ankle, kind of like Trey, and breaks the ankle. Deltoid ligament, had to have surgery the next day, screws, and you just like, because you're so young, you think that your life and everything is done because it stops so quick. It's so abrupt that stops. So thoughts and prayers with him. Keep your head up, young fella, and he'll be back.
Lo, I'm going to say this, and I told Steiny, you got hurt, and a lot of players get hurt playing this violent sport of football, doing what you're supposed to. But what we seen Kyle do to Trey Lance is negligence, and he should be court-martialed because he did not show any care. There was no delicacy at all. It was like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to call run power for my QB, the most important position in sports, and then go to the podium and have the audacity to say, y'all don't watch football, watch Buffalo? Come on, Lo. You can't defend that man on that. He ran this kid in the ground.
Guru, Guru, I'm telling you, I absolutely love you, man, because
I believe you, Lo.
You're the bro. I'm gonna put you in politics. My God, you're going to be on my campaign because you're going to be killing people, man. You are a monster. I love it, dude. But here's the thing, bros. Get Lamar Jackson that. You've seen Lamar Jackson, the way he runs. Look at Lamar's body style compared to him. Lamar Jackson's not built better than Trey necessarily. Smaller frame, all those different things. Look at Patrick Mahomes, how many times he runs, different plays. And hell, look at the little scooter bug, the water bug yesterday. All over the field. 20 seconds play by Kyler Murray. I mean, you think about this league and Josh Allen, he runs the ball, quarterback draw, a lot of those guys. And I get it. It's easy after something happens. And didn't I tell you that's what happened? I told you it's going to happen. I'm just telling you, it's a freak accident. Things happen, and I understand what you're saying. You're like, oh, he's using him like a running back. He is a versatile quarterback. And some of those type of guys, this is what they signed up for. They run the ball, and understand he's not big like Josh Allen, so Josh Allen runs these draws and screens, and Josh Allen can do everything because he's bigger and more physical. But look at Lamar Jackson. He's not, and he still takes some shots, and it does. And you're right, Guru. If you play that position long enough and you're that type of mobile quarterback, look no further than Michael Vick. He ran quarterback draws. He ran quarterback sweeps. He ran power student body right and have a lead. So I get what you're saying. Man, Goose, it's tough when you have the type of talent these guys have with their legs.
Lorenzo Neal joining us on 95.7 The Game. Low. Let me throw some numbers at you. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Trey Lance came in at halftime last year against the Seattle Seahawks. Remember that game when Garoppolo got hurt? He ran 7 times in the second half. The next game he started was against the Cardinals. He ran 16 times. Then he won that game against the Texans. He ran 8 times. Week 1 against Chicago, he ran 13 times. He knew. Come on, Lo. He knew the kid was not going to be able to make it 17 games.
Wow.
Running on average 12 times a game. He had to know this was a possibility.
I think he knew it was a possibility, and that's why you had that's why you have an insurance policy and a great backup quarterback that gets to see him finish his book and finish his story. But go pull up Lamar Jackson, how many times he ran the ball. Go look up. So you guys can do that. Just be fair and balanced when you do it, because I understand it's easy now to say, "Oh my God, you knew this was going to happen." You don't know. You have a feel that it's going to happen. Look at Lamar Jackson. You don't think a lot of people say that he's crazy playing? Go think about Lamar Jackson. Already played, proven himself in this league, had some pretty good years, and look what he's doing. He's got his body out there, ran an 80-yard touchdown, led his team in rushing. But look what he's doing, and he's not even and he doesn't have the contract yet. So I get it, guys. I do get it, and I do understand what you're coming for. You guys are coming from, but I just think when you have a quarterback that's that versatile, and I know he's not Cam Newton and what Cam's bigger and all those other things, but this kid, man, he's a runner. He's a passer. He's a passer first, but you got to admit the guy can run the ball, and he's been perfected while he was doing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lo. There's a quote out there from Kyle last year saying he's not a Lamar Jackson. He's a quarterback that can use his leg, but he throws from the pocket. From what I've seen, and I'll tell anybody, Trey was not ready throwing the ball. So the politics of the pick had him starting over Jimmy, and that's where I want to ask you next. I'm not mad at the players. I kind of give Kyle credit. I don't want to, but they obviously had his back because nothing leaked to the media, Lo, about them, in disagreement that Trey should be starting over Jimmy. But now that Jimmy's back there and I watched it, Lo, I got them not going all the way, but how can you look at this Niner team if Kittle comes back and say if Jimmy's upright, they don't got action to go right back to the NFC Championship game? And I guess in a crazy world, that's all it's about, right?
I guess that's what the media has turned it into, Guru, is like, okay, so because everyone's been okay, go back to Jimmy. So now if we just make the playoffs, it's okay. Is that what you guys want? Because I'm trying to figure out what people really want, because they're saying one thing. Well, of course. Now here's the deal. Now I'm with you guys, same church, same crew. That when he went back and dropped back, you're like, okay, what is this young guy going to do? You're like, is he going to complete? Where's he going to go with the ball? We're just looking and anticipating. With Jimmy, Jimmy's going to drop back. He's not going to necessarily scramble. If it's 3rd and 13, he's going to probably dink the ball down, and they're going to probably punt and say, hey, defense, go do your job. If it's 3rd and 13 here, you can't admit that 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 13, you had a quarterback that could draw because you play nickel or dime with 6 DBs or 7 DBs, nickel 5 DBs, dime 6 and 7 DBs. So if you did that, this young man could run for the first down. You saw it. So it depends. So it gave you more dimension. So I think what you guys are failing to realize, this guy was not better than Jimmy G. I've always said that. He wasn't better as a quarterback than Jimmy G right now. Or as just the game, the speed of the game, the intelligence of the game. No, he's not. But guess what? I don't think that the AFC champion quarterback knows more football than Jimmy G. Last year, Cincinnati Bengals, he can throw the ball better and all those different things. But he's not. He doesn't have the football IQ Jimmy has. I can go around the league and show you quarterbacks that are better athletically, but don't necessarily have the football IQ that Jimmy has. So I think that's where we the disconnect, because now it's like, okay, now Jimmy's here. So everyone says, now you're going to win a Super Bowl? No. What it gave you now is that you guys now feel more consistent. You're calming because now you're not necessarily holding your breath. And here's the thing. I'm happy for Jimmy G. I'm disappointed for Trey, and I'm sad because I don't want anybody to get hurt. But I'm so happy that Jimmy G gets to write his book, Steiny. He gets to now. He started the beginning, the introduction, the body, and now he gets to write his conclusion. And so here's the thing: either way, he loses. It's only one way Jimmy G comes out of this successful, unscathed, if they win the Super Bowl. So if Trey Lance would have played the whole year and they don't get the Super Bowl, they go to the playoffs, you guys would have been saying, you're the same people that have been saying, you know what? If you had Jimmy, you probably would have went to the Super Bowl. He's ready. The team was ready. Neither way, Cal could win with this media, Steiny.
No, not when you bring Jimmy Garoppolo back.
What's that?
Not when you bring Jimmy Garoppolo back.
You can't win. So my point is, so if you don't have Jimmy, well, you guys would have been saying, well, they should have kept Jimmy as a backup.
No, you're right.
That's what only thing I'm saying, Steiny.
Yeah, I believe that.
For sure. You can't win. If he would have said, okay, I'm putting Trey back on the bench, and Jimmy went out and they made one playoff and they went to the playoffs and they still lost. Everyone said, you had Trey, you should have stayed with him and let him grow through this growing pain. How can he win?
Let me ask you this.
Shanahan cannot win, bro. And I looked at another guy real quick. Just thinking about a guy like Lombardi. Oh, Lombardi was doing all this. Oh, Trey's not ready, and they're going to go. Okay, Lombardi, now you got it your way. See, it's easy to be that person, and I'm like, okay, let's see. Because I'm telling you, and I love Jimmy, and I want Jimmy to have success. Because I'm pulling for him because the way he handled himself, the way he carries himself, he's a true pro, and he's a constant scholar. I love the guy, and I want nothing but success. But now, you have to be real. You played against a Seattle team that played with how many rookies and how many on the secondary, dropping coverage? The tight end, Dwelly, he ran a corner route. They were playing zone. Linebacker never dropped. Safety doubled down, came down and doubled the 6 route that came underneath. No one was even on him. But no, I like where Jimmy goes with the ball. We all like his ability to throw the ball. Sometimes maybe not the deep ball, but we all say that he's consistent. So I just don't know how Cal quarterback situation could ever get better.
Well, let me throw this at you. Let's say you're a member of the 49ers. You're their fullback, and you got championship aspirations. And you know in that locker room that Trey Lance isn't ready. Well, guess what? Kyle Shanahan started Trey Lance, even though the team may have felt, or certainly some guys on the team felt like, Jimmy's better. Like, that credibility doesn't vanish. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're a right? I mean, if you're a player on that team that's like, I can't believe he's really going with Trey Lance. We all know Garoppolo's better. Boom, Trey Lance gets hurt. Don't you think there could be players on the team saying, Kyle really didn't do Trey Lance right, man. I mean, that put him in a bad position, and we all knew Jimmy was better to start.
I think that here's how you look at it. 2 years ago, Jimmy was there. Jimmy blew out his knee. Everyone said it was a dumb. Why are you going to go out of bounds? He blew out his knee against Kansas City. Things happen. And here's the thing. People might call in and say, man, how many times you heard him call in Steiny and say, man, Guru, I love Guru on the show, man. Guru, Steiny, get Steiny off there. Guru, you ain't, I appreciate it. And how many times Steiny, they say, Steiny, how do you carry that dude? Guess what? Because there's a difference of opinion.
Right.
You guys of all people, notice, you don't think there's guys on that team in that locker room that believe that Trey, when they watch practice and they go to practice and all of a sudden he drops back and throws the ball 80 yards downfield, or he's in the huddle and he's dancing around and he makes something happen and make guys, you don't think guys, damn, that dude got talent. Damn, that boy got some skills. You don't think they say it? You don't think they do? It's the same. Come on, Goo, you see it. So, and Steiny, you've seen it. So, yes, you got people that have been saying about both these guys that are saying, man. So, I played with Drew. There was guys that said, man, we should go with Phillip Rivers. Drew held him off. I was in with Neil O'Donnell. Neil O'Donnell and Steve McNair. We won 5 straight with Steve being hurt. Neil O'Donnell, we won 5 straight. And do you know some people, like Steve wanted to come back in week 3, and they're like, nah, we're going to keep you. We all right. Won that one. He wanted to come back in week 4. Nah, stay out. Week 5, stayed out. And then finally, Steve started to be like, no, I'm the guy. So they had to go back. And, of course, we still went to the Super Bowl. But you don't think there was guys we were riding with Neil? Like, man, Neil got us rolling.
No, Lo.
All that is.
Lo, I give you that. But listen, man, this is to me. Kyle Shanahan now has a file. He has a file of blowing leads in the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship game. And if you want to tell me, hey, it ain't all on him, I'll give you that. But then you went up and told the world, watch my smart ass turn this guy from North Dakota State into the next And right now, all you turned him was into sick bay. He is out. And to me, there comes some criticism with that. The Trey Lance thing right now is a failure until it's fixed. But Kyle's file is growing. And I told the listeners in Steiny, what I hate about this, Low, is his ass got bailed out by default by Jimmy coming to save the day. And it's too strong to say I wish, but
hey, Guru.
No, it's real, Low. It's real. Criticize the man. He is not a messiah, and he's ruined Trey Lance, and you won't call him out for it.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Guru, what do you mean? So you want me to say that he's a horrible coach?
Not a horrible, because he's not horrible, but take this one on the chin and say he used him wrong, Low, and he couldn't develop him. He's had 2 years to develop his passing, and he couldn't do it. So why did you draft him, Kyle? Call him out on the carpet, Low.
Guru, here's the thing you got to realize. You had a starting quarterback in Jimmy G. The reason why they drafted him is because they seen the way the league was going and go and said, I don't want a statuesque quarterback, and I'm going to go get a guy that I feel that I can take that's going to take this team to the next level.
And what happened, Low?
Here's his body of work is in his second year. His body of work is not over. And here's the deal. I believe this. Now, Steiny, you hear this, and all you guys like to check the tape. He will become a better quarterback from this.
Wow.
He might.
He's going to learn. He's going to become a better quarterback, and he's going to be better pocket porter. He's going to be better runner quarterback. This is going to make him. I got broken leg, ankle, torn ligaments, had to go. I played 15 more years. Look at you've got to realize. I know you guys. And here's the. I get it. Now, does he still need to be developed?
Yeah.
Yes. But Kyle Shanahan believed by week 8 and week 9, this kid would have had the offense, a better grasp on the offense. He said, okay, this guy would be able to do the things we need to do. He's going to be able to hide a lot of multitude of more thoughts. There's going to be a lot of different things that we can do. So he hedged his bet on potential. And I think now, this is what everybody wanted. This is what you got to say, well, I saw last week this and that and the other. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think Jimmy would have won that game last week. I think the weather was too bad. I don't think receivers were catching the ball. I think the field was too sloppy. I don't think he would have picked up those 3rd and 13s. There's a lot of things that I don't think that would happen. Now, I believe that Jimmy is a better fundamental quarterback than this kid right now. Yes. All I'm saying is I think he has way more potential, 1. And 2, yes, if you want to say that Kyle Shanahan maybe shouldn't have ran him, of course we can say it now, but the guy is not a small guy. It wasn't like he took some vicious hit. It was him falling back and trying to slide, I think, and look at the thing, and the guy just fell on his ankle. So
he was running into linebackers, and he did it in Chicago. He did it yesterday, and it cost him. There was no handle with care because it just reeked of, if you get hurt, young man, guess what? Number 10 is my backup, and we can throw the ball with him. That's what it reeked of. Now, everything you're saying, I agree with you, Low, but don't give Kyle a pass, man. And it sounds like you are.
Well, Guru, the difference is I played it, you did. The difference is I've been out there with Stephen Nair, you haven't. The difference is I've been out there with Achilles Smith, you haven't. The difference is I've seen this game and played it, you haven't. The difference is I know that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch both know football. And I'm not sitting here saying that you don't know football. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what I know. The difference is what you and I are saying. The difference is you saying, I'm going to crucify this guy because this young man got hurt. The difference is this guy and this offense was predicated because of his ability to get out of the pocket and do certain things. So this is why they had you stretch the field and you have more things to do. That's what Kyle Shanahan is thinking. So if Kyle Shanahan is thinking that because he's a coach, well, that's the coach's decision. Now, if you want to coach and you think you can develop a guy and get him out there, then you don't get the pass. Because now you're saying he's hurt, then you would want the same pass if you knew the kind of guy and you've been in the locker room and you've been at practice every day and you know what the guy has. It's not me giving anybody a pass by no sense of imagination. I got on Kyle Shanahan before, and I don't think that he picked certain guys in the draft. We said, okay, who's these guys he brought in through agency, different guys, things have happened. We get it. But guess what? Every front office, every coach, every radio, everybody has made mistakes. And so we want to hold him to a deal to say, we just want to fire him or whatever you guys want to do. I don't know what you're looking for. If you don't want him to have a pass, then okay, he doesn't have a pass. Okay, if you want to say you shouldn't have been running, I can't say that. But if you believe that, that's your opinion. And guess what? That's why it's America, because you're entitled to believe that Kyle Shanahan shouldn't have ran him. You're entitled to believe that Kyle Shanahan ran him too much. You absolutely can believe that. And and that's okay.
All right.
But does it mean that he can't coach? And I know, and I'm not trying to get a pass. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to tell you what I believe that these coaches and this organization and what the players believe that they saw in this young man in Trey Lance.
All right, Lo. Good stuff.
Low went in on me. Yeah. Drew down on Twitch said, Low, I never heard Goo quiet like that. No, I hear you, Low. I just feel like the guy getting the pass, man.
All right,
Did we lose Low?
Lo may have hung up.
Nah, Low.
Was Lo pissed?
Low a call. Low, that wasn't. I see Low pissed. You don't want to see him.
Just remember, Lo, that was Guru, not me.